Wow, what is going on? Dubb, we're here. I love my Dubb, and I want to share. Ruben and Rob are going to join in and have a conversation about some of the things that we struggle with. And as the year wraps up in 2022, and we start thinking about 2023, I really want to be able to kind of plant the seed and nurture this concept that you need to think about. What is your roadmap? What's the map that you're going to follow? How are you going to capture? How are you going to contain and follow up with people? Because, we don't always get to do the things that we want to do. And I think it's important that we kind of think about these things. And we also need to make sure that we're actually doing this in a sustainable way. And also, we don't need 10,000 people in our business. Well, maybe you do. But just getting that pipeline started and that funnel started, I think is something that we need to talk about today. So let's jump in. Let's get going and talk about the subject on how you're going to build your roadmap, how you're going to build your funnel, and how you're going to move forward in 2023.
Hi, Scott Sullivan here. A lot of you know me as Sully. Dubb has doubled my business in the last year. You are about to go on a journey with Russ Johns. Welcome to I Love Dubb.
Well, the best thing about Dubb is the fact that I can make so many personal contacts with it, and it's so on point.
Why do I love Dubb? Let me count the ways. One, because my friend Russ Johns uses it and he knows things.
Boom, we're here. Welcome. Wonderful Wednesday. I hope you're having a fantastic week, and I look forward to this conversation because it's so important that we start building and we start considering what's on our agenda, what's our goals in 2023. We kind of think about this at the year end, and it's kind of wrapping up. A lot of people are working on their plans. And Ruben, I want to plant the seed here for a lot of people because I know that you're involved in this. And as a business owner, you're probably thinking about, okay, what are the priorities and the strategies we're going to go into 2023? And what are the things that you're considering in 2023 as a business owner looking to grow your business? What are the things that you're looking at?
Well, thank you for that question. I think this is the right time to be talking about planning for 2023. In fact, some might argue we're even a little bit late because it's gonna be there before we know it. And I think the best conversations to be had about this are the most uncomfortable conversations, and also sometimes the most fun conversations. And when you combine those two things, I think you get a really good premise for a starting point on where we can take this. The thing that I've been thinking about a lot is, and this is probably one of the more uncomfortable conversations for me definitely, is how is it that we can upsell our existing user base? Now, I know that sounds jarring and it sounds capitalistic, but the fact of the matter is that when I look at this, I don't look at it from how do we just make more money from our people. I think about how do we invest into our platform to get people more results and make something so that people want to go invest more. And then the second thing is, how do we delight our existing customers with more stuff that's just included just because we're adapting to the climate around us? So when we kind of balance some of these two things, we figure out the evolution of our product offering and then how it connects to our user base and and their goals and how to overcome friction so that they can get the growth that they want to get.
Well, I think I want to, I really like what you said on that. And I want to reframe something. reframe the idea that you're upselling them rather than, I think it's more my experience as a user and a fan and somebody that uses Dubb on a daily is we're increasing the value to what is the opportunity for a business owner to grow and scale. Because it's, it's like, how do you need an elephant? People starting out with Dubb, they start out with a trial, and they go to the free account, and then they upgrade as they increase their skills. And when you add value to the equation, that allows people to scale their business up. So it's, how do we increase the value on the increased in the outputs and some of the results they get from the sales process?
Yeah.
And I think, just looking at it for myself, it's like, okay, I love the automation piece. Well, that's an advanced section. That's the upsell, if you will. That's the enhancement to some of the things that you can use with Dubb. However, the return on that investment can be a huge upside for any business that adopts those features and functionality.
Yeah, you said it best. I mean, I'll share my screen and just give a sneak peek on something kind of interesting right here. But this just sort of shows where we want to take it and where we're going. This is a sneak peek right here on a waveform video style, where sometimes we actually don't want to record a video. Sometimes we actually want to type in text, and then that text automatically generates a voice.
I love that. How do you see that enhancing the sales process? And I want to toss this over to Rob as a individual that deals with, you're dealing with partners, you're dealing with a lot of different moving parts, a lot of different opinions. So Rob, where does this fit into the equation? Because I see this as a value add, Ruben, and I kind of want to get a new perspective on it from Rob.
Yeah, from a sales communication perspective, we try to, the main thing with Dubb and everything that we do, we try to be effective and efficient. So those are two E's that, you really want, and you can even throw empowerment in there. So what Ruben has created with the waveform there is an ability to, let's say I'm just not in the mood to shoot a video. I don't want to be on camera, but I got to get this out. Or maybe I'm in an airport, or maybe I'm somewhere where it's just physically not possible, right? There's a number of scenarios where that happens. Well, that shouldn't stop you from making an effective communication with a client or a prospect. Being able to type in text, if you're sitting there on your phone and you type the text in, you're on your computer.
Your mic muted. You got a message or something.
It's funny. I was talking about communication. I got muted. So I muted myself. Anyway, don't mute yourself. That's big in communication. Make sure they can hear you. So when you're doing this, you want to get that video out there where you've got a nice photo. You can see the waveform animation behind it. So the animated GIF that someone receives is still very engaging when they visually look at it. You have your face there, and then when you type in the text, the workings behind the scenes creates a voice that can be added to that. So you are immediately creating something where, if no matter what the situation is, where you can't be on camera or don't want to be on camera, this is a nice fill-in to be able to still bring that value that is well above just a text-based communication.
I love it. The reason I love it is that there are occasions where we may not be available to be on camera, but the communication and the message, I think, is most important. And one of the things that I love is the continuing of the development cycle, Ruben. I think that's really what I applaud you for, and the team at Dubb, and making sure that you're listening to the community, you're getting involved and engaged, just like us. I do this out, because I love Dubb and I want to support you guys. And the reality is that you continue to support the community. So for anybody listening in or, paying attention to this in the future, I just want to recognize that Ruben and the team have been continuing to upgrade, update. They listen. You know, I type in messages, and sometimes I might be they're going, oh, now hearing from Russ again. It's like, no, they listen and they pay attention. So it's really something that I appreciate as an end user and as a business owner. Adding that value, I think, is something that people need to understand that happens on a regular basis. So,
yeah, I think that one of the things that we're all trying to do is to take our efforts and to maximize the impact that we can have on others, but then also not compromise our authenticity. And when we talk about automation and we talk about AI and we talk about using technology, there's actually a lot of ways that we can accomplish both things. Now, every once in a while, you'll say, hey, you know what? I do see authenticity or personalization compromised here. But at some point, you have to make a decision. You know, does the efficiency and effectiveness that Rob talks about, does it outweigh, the sort of personalization? And sometimes the answer is a resounding yes. I have been on calls where someone is trying to sell us a product or service for over $20,000, and there's zero personalization. They didn't get it. They didn't spend any time learning about us. They didn't spend any time, sending us personalized communication. It was just book a time and we'll see you there, and then we'll sell you. And we've never purchased one of those. Whereas when people have some level of personalization, or either automated personalization or fully manual personalization, it makes much more of an impact. So what I always like to say is, do you want your conversion rate to be 1% or 10%? Because if you want it to be 1%, then send 10,000 messages. If you want it to be 10%, then you can send 1,000.
Yeah, that personalization makes a huge difference. And I think, Rob, you've talked about it on the Rev Show. You guys have discussed it continually. And that authenticity. In fact, I've been watching your TikToks. So it's like, and I'm slowly getting to the vertical video format. And I've been doing a daily December where I'm putting video out on multiple platforms and testing these results. And that goes back to the original point of the show is, having a system and a solution. So talk about how you approach your video creation process and what you're doing in those activities with the Rev Show and some of the promotional, just fun stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, we're all about, creation has to start somewhere. When you look at the comedy writing rooms or Saturday Night Live or any other creation, you start throwing things around, making suggestions, even if they're off the wall. It's a starting point, and you have to have a starting point. You have to have the clay in your hand so you can start molding it. And even when you start molding, you're like, I don't know if I like where that's going. Let me try this direction. So there's a lot of that happens with Ruben and I and team and Chris and all that kind of stuff. But if you're out there and you're listening and you're watching and you want to start really making an impact with sales, you've got to be a content creator. You have to create content. You've got to move towards a direction of really speaking directly to cameras, speaking directly to your audience. And when you're trying to come up with things to say, think about things that are impactful. What are people struggling with? One of the main focuses we try to focus on when we do Rev Show is, how can we help people? What are some things that we can say and strategies we can bring to the table and bring to the light that maybe they haven't thought about? Or if they've thought about their strategy, here's an interesting angle on that strategy that you can start implementing right now. So understanding that you can start somewhere, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but keep hammering that nail, keep being consistent. And in terms of if you're a company out there and you don't have, let's say, you're a director of sales, you're a director of marketing, you're a director of whatever it is, get a director or someone that can help you with your social media, because you've got to understand that is the way that a lot of connections happen. So start reviewing the connections. What are people saying? Comment on those areas. Really engage yourself with the back and forth, because that will create new opportunities.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because one of the things that I love, and if people are looking at it, right down below, subscribe to the Dubb channel, get on the Rev Show and follow it, thumbs up, all the social activities that we all know and love. But the reality is that it's added value to the actual solution that you provide. You're not only providing the solution, you're actually sharing these ideas about how to actually improve your business. And it's not attached to the solution. It's not directly attached to Dubb, but it's in addition to. So the thing that, giving back, that adding value, when you put stuff out, be authentic, add the value, and put something out that's going to be worth sharing, I think is really key. So like I said, just write down here, Dubb app, it's something that you can share. Go subscribe to the channel and make sure that you're following Dubb on all the social channels, because it's, it helps the community out. It helps all of us. And I don't believe that there's any limitation in sharing. You need to have the abundance mindset of, if you share the value, it'll always increase the value of the thing that we're doing. So it's really important. I want to shift gears a little bit here. And one of the things that I want to share is the workflow and some of the automation pieces, because as a Dubb user, using video, being authentic, adding value, that's all important. And one of the things that I want people to consider in 2023 is, how do you bring those pieces together with the other aspects of your business and your marketing and your efforts to outbound and impact your audience and your community? How are you bringing that together? And I think Ruben, we've talked about automation several times, so maybe you can talk about what your thoughts are on that going into 2023.
Well, I think that people need to start by, in what I call, drawing your business. And I'm very fortunate, thanks to Rob, that we have a huge whiteboard on this wall in my office. Rob, this was your idea, so shout out to you on this. But this is a great place to draw the business. So what does the business look like from the very top to the very bottom? And then how is it ultimately a cycle of life, if you will? And I think that if people really, truly spend the time to understand what it looks like, how do new folks learn about this business? What is the brand opportunity? What is the initial engagement that they might partake in to kind of come over and get through the gate? What does it look like when they're engaged, when they're interested? Then what does it look like to go through the selling and the buying process? Then what does it look like to go through the onboarding process and the customer support, and then the referral process, and then rinse and repeat? I think if someone can draw out every aspect of the process of the business through all of the channels, which is a very lengthy, family looking tree type diagram. If people can start to do that, they can start to say, where can I automate? Where is there messaging that I can add to this mix, so that when people are going through this process, they can gain valuable content? They can gain, Rob, you call it the trusted advisor. How can we insert the trusted advisor into the entire business process so that people can feel like they're taken care of and they're part of a community? And if they have questions, they're going to get answered, because ultimately that's what's going to lead to more conversions. And I think that conversions are good for everyone. It's also good for the buyers as well, because they're getting value. So I think it starts really with drawing your business, and then figuring out what you can then automate. And then, of course, hiring Russ to help you build it all.
Yes, you can hire Russ to build it all. And we had a question. I wanted to share this question. I don't know the answer to this, actually, but I suspect the answer is a positive. Sarathi says, is Dubb available in languages in India? Because I know there are several languages being used in India. So
yeah. Well,
since it's a video platform, you can use any language you want when you're recording video.
Well, the national language of India, as I understand, is English. So we definitely offer the national language of India, because there's, I think, 23 plus, maybe up to 30 dialects of, I shouldn't say dialects, I should say languages in India, and then hundreds of sub-dialects.
Yes.
So, do we offer, does the Dubb platform come in multiple languages? Right now, it's only English. Can you be a user from any country in the world and use it to basically record videos, send videos? Yeah, you absolutely can. And in fact, you can add your own language to the video landing page and put your own characters in there. So, yes and no is probably my best answer.
Very cool. Very cool. I really love the idea that we can actually bolt these pieces on. And one of the things that I love to use, and maybe I don't know if anybody has used this or not in this way, but like the showcases for training. You know, I have client work that I just drop all their videos, record their videos, and drop them in the showcase so they can share them with, you know, for future reference. And I think it's super simple application that is easy to use. It allows everybody to gain access to it at any time, and then you can track, see who, if you give them a training video and they don't watch it and then they're asking questions about it, you can call them out on it. So it's like, okay, let's get down to the facts here.
Yeah.
But in 2023, I think the big cause and effect is we have to think about how this all comes together. And one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to put together a webinar that brings this together. I'm going to do this Saturday. I'm going to be sharing, I'm going to be putting this on in, let's see, Dubb webinars. I can do this. Yes, I can do this. Share. So if you go to LoveMyDubb.com/Dubb-webinars, and I'll put it up here as well. I'm going to be walking people through this. And so we can actually identify what pieces of the puzzle, and I'll answer questions, and how some of these pieces might create an impact, a positive impact on your business, and how we can add value to your existing processes and solutions. That whole solution that we're talking about, and the push into 2023, some of these ideas, you may not necessarily have a solution or an idea how to approach them. So rather than handing you a menu and say, here's a bunch of things that you can do, I want to build a roadmap and share that with you on Saturday, this Saturday. And it's creating a Dubb sales funnel. So if you want to join in, just register and go to the link, and happy to provide that opportunity for you. So I think it's important for people to understand that you have resources available. And also I would be remiss if I didn't mention Darius teaching a class every 5 days a week, right? At 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can go sign up for a class and learn a little bit more about what's going on there. So I know we got on a little bit late today, and you probably got meetings and events coming up. So any last words of wisdom or encouragement, Rob, that you want to share with business owner from the sales and building partnerships?
Yeah, it's really about being authentic, being empathetic, and really just taking one step at a time. I think a lot of times people can get overwhelmed. And I think that happens to all of us in certain parts of our life. But if you're out there and you haven't used video yet, take one step towards it, because every stat on the planet says it gives you the advantage, and it really, really makes that connection. And if you are currently using video, congratulations, great, you're on the right path. And really lean into the tools and lean into the teachings of someone like Russ, someone like Darius, someone like Ruben, can really, really show you the light and how bright it can actually be.
And I'll add one more word that ends with IC to empathetic and authentic, which is strategic. And I think that, now's the time to be thinking about 2023 and how we can actually be strategic in our efforts, because ultimately, what is all of this technology and all of these things that we're buying? What ultimately are these things supposed to do? Ultimately, they're supposed to save us time, and they're supposed to increase our results. That's really what it comes down to for basically everything that we're buying in business. And arguably a lot of the stuff that we buy for our personal lives, it's to ultimately, remove friction and increase happiness. So, with that requires some planning, it requires some thoughtfulness, and it requires a professional, a coach like Russ Johns.
And one thing, thank you, Ruben, for saying that. And one thing I want to also remind people of is it doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple. It could be clean. It could be very strategic, authentic, and it just adds to and enhance your business and makes it much easier to manage everything coming in the door. So
Yeah, love that. We're going to be promoting the Dubb Zoom app actually tomorrow on Product Hunt. We're going to be doing a nice announcement for that. So gone are the days of repeating yourself in your Zoom meetings. Now you can record a pre-recorded video and then play it in Zoom, and then just lean back in your chair while the video is playing.
I love it.
You know,
I love it.
And then if someone has a question, I search my account or search YouTube and then play another video. And ultimately, what is that about? It's about removing friction.
Yeah. Well, I just when you said that, Ruben, I thought about, okay, we could create a nice video commercial of my introduction. So when you're on a Zoom video, you just play your introduction.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate all of the support and encouragement and all of the things that I've been able to accomplish in the last number of years with Dubb. And I just want to invite you to the Saturday session. I'll be putting it out on LinkedIn and some of the social platforms as far as an event goes, and sharing it out a little bit more, because it's important to recognize that we have help available. Phone a friend. I'm here and available. I can help you create a strategy and a session and a workflow that actually automates some of the things that you're doing manually now. You save a ton of time. You can actually accomplish more and do the things that you need to do that are important to your business, like spending time with your strategy instead of making the widgets. All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. And if I don't see you soon, have a fantastic week and weekend, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Take care.